Hey everybody, it's Lo and welcome back to my channel, Lo Without Limits. Today I'm going to be taking you through my kitchen pantry, a couple cabinets, to show you just my kitchen staples and essentials to have a healthy lifestyle to make food that's nutritious and delicious. So if you want to see what healthy staples I keep in my kitchen, then just keep watching. Hey everybody, now welcome to my kitchen. You've been here a few times by now. So my refrigerator is pretty empty, so I figured why not show you just my pantry staples, things that don't need to be refrigerated that you can just always have on hand to whip up something good and delicious and doesn't really require a bunch of grocery shopping. So if you're running out of food, all this stuff is still pretty good. Now the first few things I'm gonna show you, I just like to leave out on my counter. This is a massive mason jar of just different teas. I have green tea, I really like the yogi tea. I also have chai in here because while I have no problem falling asleep as a narcoleptic person, sometimes I just want to calm down at night. So I have a lot of different yogi teas, but also my friend gave me some Earl Grey ones from Trader Joe's and just some other green teas. So I just have a bunch of teas in here and I like leaving them out on my counter so I always see the different teas that I have. Also on my counter in this little sealed up jar is some ground coffee. I've made an at-home latte video before where I just used ground coffee. I'll either get it from Starbucks or even better if I can get it from Sprouts. I usually do the Kona blend and get a lighter roast coffee, and I always have it ground whether I do it myself or at Starbucks for a cone drip. So usually it's number 4 on the little dial. So it's good because it's not too fine, but it's still pretty fine for a cone drip since I do a pour over. Obviously, if you have a coffee machine or if you do French press, the grind that you'll get for your coffee is different. In one of my cabinets down below, I have a bunch of different mixed nuts. So I always get raw and unsalted just so I can make what I want with them without having to worry about them already having like a flavor or a salt to them. So of course I have a bunch of cashews for when I make my protein energy bites and a bunch of almonds. You'll see in one of my last videos I made almond butter. It's also good for making your own nut milk, either cashew milk or almond milk. And it's just so good, and also these are just so good to snack on, especially since they are raw and unsalted. Also on my counter, I have just my oils that I like to use all the time. I have extra virgin olive oil. I like putting this on top of salads or things that are already made. And also avocado oil. I usually use avocado oil when I'm roasting or baking something. For some reason, I just like it a little bit more. It's a little like, it's not as greasy as baking with coconut or with olive oil is. And for salads, I also like to use just this balsamic vinegar. I got it at Sprouts. I will mix it with my extra virgin olive oil if I want to make a fancy dressing. 2 other things that I leave out on my counter are lemons for tea or water, or I just like lemon on everything, and honey. Just like lemons, I love it on everything. And these 2 together help with like a cold or pimple. Honey, I like putting on bananas when I just want a snack to go. Really on anything, and especially in tea. And I've mentioned in one of my Instagram posts before that if you start having allergies and you're somewhere new, find local honey. This is local SoCal honey since I'm in Southern California. And when you have local honey, it's almost like a vaccination where you're getting the pollens and everything from the honey because those bees are obviously pollinating what's local to that area. So that's what you're ingesting and your body gets used to it, so your allergies will go away pretty much immediately. It's like nature's vaccination. Just some spices that I have. This whole back cabinet has like tea and stuff on one shelf, and then the whole bottom area is just spices. I like getting them as I go. I don't really know what a lot of them like taste like or are used for, but I just like having them for when I try something new. I don't be like, man, I don't have paprika. Like I just have them all, and when I started moving in here, every time I went grocery shopping, I just picked up 1 or 2 just to start a little collection. But of course I have my favorites. So not a spice, but vanilla extract. Again, good for the Hail Mary bites, for the protein energy bites, really for anything. Some cayenne pepper. For a really long time, I was making green tea in the morning, and I would do a little bit of lemon, a little bit of honey, and some cayenne pepper because I figured like boost your metabolism, a good way to get energy in, and just like the cayenne pepper, like, and everything really woke you up, and kind of also, since it is so hot, got rid of my sinuses in the morning because I always wake up a little puffy. And of course, a cult favorite, I'm even looking at it and it has like avocado like dried and smeared on the side because I obviously use it with avocado toast, but it's Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning. I've never really liked an everything bagel. I don't like all the stuff on it. It's too weird. I'm a big cinnamon raisin girl. Now I can't even really have bagels. I have to buy my own gluten-free ones. but this seasoning I love. I like making it with avocado toast, or I even posted a photo where I made avocado pita because they didn't have any sourdough anywhere. Throw a little bit of this on with the cayenne, throw a sunny side egg up on top. If I have sprouts or any other grains, I like throwing that on top too, but this is so, so good. And there's not really a Trader Joe's near my home, and my mom had this once when she was visiting me, and I went to Trader Joe's and I went home and I was like, here's 2, because I know you won't go out and get your own, but you'll love it. It's so good. Sea salt, garlic, and onion. As I mentioned so many times, I love garlic and onion, so I love this. Okay, now above my sink I have a cabinet, and that's kind of like my biggest cabinet where I keep everything. A little hard to get to since it is a bit high, but I don't really have a pantry in this little apartment, in my little place. But I do keep everything up there, and I keep it nice and organized in the little OXO like pop containers. So I'll just show you everything that I have up there and why I have them as my healthy kitchen staples. Okay, first things first, because it's the biggest, I have gluten-free oats. I'm not a huge oatmeal girl. I used to be a lot in high school, and I would just like make them, and I'd add so much brown sugar and cinnamon, like all the stuff, to where it was literally like a bowl of sugar with some oats. Since then, I've definitely toned down on that. Maybe I'll throw like a little bit of brown sugar in, or now I add a little bit of coconut sugar, a little bit of maple syrup, and make them so much healthier. And I don't really eat them that much, but if I don't have any food around and I'm getting hungry, I will make myself just some oatmeal, just because it is so fast and easy to do. And of course, I get gluten-free oats either from Sprouts or from Trader Joe's. And since the bags are so big, I keep them in the biggest little container here. And lately, especially after working out, if I don't want to make like actual food, or I'm tired of a shake, I will make oatmeal and throw in a couple scoops of my Woman's Best protein powder and mix it up so it's so cakey and thick and vanilla-y from the protein powder, but you still have your nice filling oats. The next container I have is quinoa. So I usually just get white quinoa, or like the one where it's evenly mixed with the red and the black, just because white quinoa gets so much fluffier, and I feel like the darker the quinoa, the more crunchy it is, no matter how long you make it. So I just get white quinoa. Sometimes I'll make it just with water or with a vegetable broth, just to be the base of a different bowl. I haven't made it too much lately, but it is really good. When I'm feeling fancy, I'll do it with like a tomato bisque and make that with it instead of water, and then towards the end throw in some spinach. It's almost like making your own hearty tomato soup, where you get so much more full because of the quinoa. Okay, the next thing I have in my pantry, this is coconut sugar. I just got the Nativas brand from Sprouts. I'm sure you can pick it up at other stores as well. I've been meaning to dump it in the container and just haven't gotten around to it, but it figured it just kind of keeps it all secure in there instead of just another bag sitting in there. So I use this for really every time I'm baking something. I don't really like white sugar or as much brown sugar anymore. So I just have coconut sugar. It gives it a little bit more of a cinnamony flavor, especially when you're making the Hail Mary bites. I found that this makes it so, so good, and it's just so much better for you. Next up, I have my unsweetened shredded coconut. I get this in either bulk bag or an already like tied up bag from Sprouts. And I get it unsweetened just because it's a little bit healthier and it's shredded. And I use this for my either Hail Mary bites, my protein energy bites, cookies, really anything. And it's not super coconutty flavor, which is good because I used to hate coconut and now I've slowly grown on it. And if you add a little bit more, it gives it a bit more flavor. A little bit less or not at all, then gets rid of the coconut flavor at all. But I feel like it's a good add-in for baking and making nice little sweet treats. And up there I also have some ground flaxseed. I also have some more that I just bought to put in there. I have the Bob's Red Mill whole ground flaxseed meal, and I think it's a lot of really good omegas and fats, and it's really healthy. And if I'm making a salad just to give it a bit more fat and like some more micronutrients, I'll make the salad and I'll sprinkle this on top. Or if I'm making cookies or really anything, just put a little bit in there and it kind of binds it all together. So I do like putting it on my salads a lot. Next up, I have nutritional yeast. Again, I have a bit more that I just bought that I'm gonna put in here. Just nutritional yeast flakes. It's so good for you. I get it at Sprouts and it lasts a really long time, just like this little bag. And just like with the flaxseed meal, when I make a salad and I want a nice cheesy flavor, I'll throw this on top instead of having actual cheese. Or I haven't really found, sometimes I'll have like a cashew cheese or an almond cheese, but it's just not the same. And it's like, if you're gonna put on like that weird cheese because you can't have regular cheese, like it's not the same. It's kind of like not worth it. And then there's so many other stuff just added in there just to make it seem like real cheese. It's not, but if you like a cheesy flavor, you want micronutrients, I think there's a lot of vitamin B in here, like literally so much good stuff with just like a tablespoon of this. And if you're having a salad, like, or if I make a bowl for work, it's so easy to just like do more than a tablespoon, like sprinkle it on top and get that nice cheesy flavor with no negative side effects, just only good stuff. Again, for baking, since I am officially just full-on gluten-free now, I have this blanched almond flour. I get it at Trader Joe's. You can just get almond flour really anywhere. Sometimes I'll get it at Sprouts and just get like the Bob's Red Mill brand. Just got this one at Trader Joe's. It's completely gluten-free. It's pretty much just almonds. And I like this when I make my gluten-free cookies. I'll do some almond flour, just an egg, some coconut butter, some maple syrup, the chocolate chips, and that's pretty much all you need. And it's a good substitute. I haven't tried baking too much. I'm not a huge baker, and I do want to learn more. Like, I don't know what is baking soda and what is baking powder and what does all that do. I definitely want to learn that more, but this is a good step, and making those chocolate chip cookies is a good step in the right direction. But I know that when you bake other stuff, it'll ask for like xanthan gum or other types of flour, or sometimes almond flour isn't right for it, and you should just get like the gluten-free all-purpose flour. Definitely like a hit or a miss with different gluten-free flours. But as I try to bake more and as I'm experimenting more, I will just keep you updated. But for now, just having a basic gluten-free flour around, I love almond flour. A really yummy bag here. This is organic fair trade cacao powder from Trader Joe's. Again, you can really get it anywhere. I just happened to pick this one up when I was at Trader Joe's, and it's so good for smoothies. If I'm making a smoothie and I want nice and chocolatey, throw some of this in there. If I'm making my protein balls and I want a cacao one, throw cacao with the cacao nibs in there. Super chocolatey, or even the Hail Mary bites. If you want to make anything chocolatey without adding chocolate, this is the way to go. Obviously, it's a bit more bitter because it is just the cacao. It's not like all the sweeteners, like a delicious like candy bar. I was trying to think of a specific candy bar, I couldn't think of one. But just cacao, you can add it in anything with the powder or the nibs, and just makes everything so chocolatey, and you don't need a whole lot. And even just 1 tablespoon is only 20 calories, and that's really all you need because it is so strong. Something I pick up a lot, and I do like other beans, of course. Like, I like black beans when I'm making like a Mexican bowl or other stuff, but garbanzo beans, aka chickpeas, I use all the time for so many things, whether it's hummus or tzatziki, whether it's hummus or falafel, or just roasting them up on the stove with a little bit of like different flavorings, or like making a sweet version and just kind of like frying them. Garbanzo beans are so versatile. They don't have like a massive flavor. They're just a really good way to get in protein. Like, they're so high in protein, and you can do so much with them. I love garbanzo beans just for all of its different purposes. So I go to Ralph's and just get the Simple Truth Organic 4-pack, because if I'm gonna go, instead of buying all the different cans, might as well just get a 4-pack. And I prefer them when they're just like in water or lower to no sodium. These ones are low sodium garbanzo beans. When you go to Sprouts, which is where I used to get them a lot before I moved out here and just like went to Ralph's to get them in bulk, you can get them in cans, individual cans with no sodium, which is what I prefer. But of course, for a 4-pack and for a girl on a budget, I'll take a little bit of sodium. And my last just like pantry staple that I have is this microwave popcorn. Again, it's Simple Truth Organic. I picked it up at Ralph's, and it's 6 bags. I get it with no added like flavor because I like adding my own flavor. If I want a little bit of salt, I'll throw some salt on there. If I want like a cinnamony, like sweet popcorn, I'll throw that on there. If I want like a spicy one, I'll throw my Nando's Peri Peri seasoning on there, which I now realize you can pick up at Ralph's, and here I am in London stocking up. Throw that on there. So you can really, I just get it plain so I can add whatever I want. Of course, sometimes I do want that movie theater butter popcorn, but if I can just make it my own, throw in my own flavorings, it's just as good, and it's exactly what I want. Even some lime, make a nice little spicy popcorn, whatever you want, plain is the way to go. Well, there you have it. Those are my kitchen pantry staples. I know it's quite a few things, but it's just what I use kind of like on a more regular basis, and are good bases for when I'm making something else. I just like having all my seasonings. I like having my garbanzo beans available, and of course I do have more food on the regular. I pick up different fruits and vegetables when I'm feeling like it, and depending on what I want to make for my meal prep that week is what I'll pick up. Of course, different proteins. I love salmon or chicken. So of course I have like my regular groceries, and that kind of changes week to week based on what I want to make or what I'm feeling. But these are just things that I always have in my pantry in case I want oatmeal with protein powder and some cacao, and just have all these things available. Or if I'm feeling snacky and sometimes it's a bit hard to find things that are gluten-free and dairy-free, but I want something healthy and light, then I go for popcorn. So really just having these things available is a good way to get started on having a healthy lifestyle that's both nutritious and delicious. So I really hope that this video helped you out. If it did and you liked it, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what is in your pantry, like what are your kitchen staples, because I'm always looking for new ones and I always want to try new things. Also let me know what you want to see more of on my channel, and while you're there, be sure to subscribe. I upload a new video every Wednesday. Until the next one, thanks for watching.